Hey, what's up, Fiverr Talks fans? We got another great video on tap for you today. We're talking about unsatisfied buyers. What do you do when you encounter them? Where do they come from? How do you avoid them? All that and more in today's video. That's right. Today we're talking about what you can do when you encounter an unsatisfied buyer. And I got to tell you something. I'm an unsatisfied buyer with this product. Not long ago, I bought these to block blue light on my computer, and I thought they would maybe make me look a little more intelligent, and I don't think they do either. I don't think I look any better or any smarter, and I don't think they're blocking anything out on this computer. So, curious, what do you think of the look with the glasses? No? See, off, on. I don't know. I prefer off, but I thought that was funny. Ran across these again today, thought I'd try them, and still haven't had any good results. But anyway, today we're talking about what you can do on Fiverr when you encounter unsatisfied buyers. Here's the reason this is a scary thing. This is a scary thing because any buyer that comes across your services, any buyer that you serve that's not 100% satisfied, could possibly leave you a poor review. And that poor review could affect your search results. And we all know that Fiverr is skewed a little bit to the side of sellers with really great reviews. In other words, you go to Amazon, something has 3.5, 4 stars. Okay, all right, it's all right. 4.5 stars. Okay, that's really great rating. On Fiverr, it seems like everybody's got 5 stars. There's a lot of reasons for that. But it can be a scary thing, and we've talked about bad reviews in the past. We'll probably do more videos about those in the future, but it can be a scary thing when you come across someone that's unsatisfied. And in fact, I know this because many of you are leaving me comments and questions about this. I believe this question was from Portfolio. He's a viewer, and he left this question, hey, what do you do when you come across an unsatisfied buyer? So we're going to talk about that today. And that's just a quick reminder that if you have a question, leave it in the comment section down below. I answer your questions right here every Tuesday and Friday. I'm probably going to switch to Monday and Thursday. That might work a little better for my schedule. But anyway, twice a week I answer your questions. Tuesday is about freelancing and business. Friday is specifically about Fiverr business, like today. So I want to jump right into this topic, not go any further with belaboring the point. Because I think the first thing we need to do when answering this question, what do we do about unsatisfied buyers, is establish that you will at some point encounter someone that you serve that is not satisfied with the product you deliver to them. If it hasn't happened yet, if you think it will never happen to you, it can happen. Now, I've completed tens of thousands of reviews or projects at this point, and I could count probably the really unsatisfied people on maybe 2 hands, maybe 3 hands, I don't know. But it's very few and far between, and it feels like, oh, I'll never have an unsatisfied customer until you do. Until you do. Sometimes it's your fault, my fault. Sometimes it's not. But for one reason or another, you will eventually encounter, if you serve people consistently as a freelancer, you'll eventually encounter someone who's unsatisfied with what you've delivered to them. They have that dissatisfaction taste in their mouth. And I think we first need to understand where they come from. There's really 3 places that unsatisfied customers come from. They come from 1, a poor experience with your process or communication. That's a big one. 2, they can come from a poor experience with your quality of work, so poor quality of work. And 3, they can come from unmet expectations, spoken or unspoken. That's the difficulty. Sometimes they're unspoken expectations. I've had that happen before where somebody comes across the work I've done and says, well, this looks nothing like the vision I had in my head. And I say, you didn't share the vision that was in your head with me. How would I have known that? So they come from poor experiences with your process or your communication, poor quality of work from you, or unmet expectations for one reason or another. And recognizing that that is what creates a dissatisfied buyer, an unsatisfied buyer, is key in helping you to prevent it in the future. If you know that, then you know you need to concentrate on your communication, your process, the experience your buyer. It's not just about the finished product. It's how we get from point A, start, to point B, the finish. And obviously the quality of your work goes a long way to even smooth over bad situations when the experience or communication isn't the greatest. But most of all, You need to find out a way to draw expectations out of your buyers so that even if they're not thinking to mention these things to you, thinking of mentioning what they want the final product to look like, you're trying to draw it out of them to avoid unmet expectations. Again, no matter how good of a job you do, eventually you're going to encounter this buyer. So I've got four things that will help you work through a situation where your buyer isn't happy. And these are not going to handle every situation. These aren't going to fix everything. But I think most of the situations you're going to encounter as a Fiverr seller can be fixed by doing these four things or keeping these four things in mind. Are you ready? Okay, let's jump in. The first thing is you need to remember not to take it personally. And I say that as a person who takes this work very personally. The work I do, the work my team does, ever since I've started this business has always been very personal to me. Why? Because it's my hard-earned time, attention, focus, effort, and experience going into that. It is lame when a buyer comes across and says they don't like something that you've created for them when you know that it took you 10 years of experience and thousands of customers before them to get to this point. They don't know what good quality work is, right? It can be so frustrating sometimes, but you have to remember not to take it personally, because no matter how you react, this situation is happening. If somebody comes unsatisfied to you, the situation is happening no matter how you personally feel about it. So as a part of this same thing, not to take it personally, I would say try to maintain an attitude of humility. Stay humble and put yourself in the buyer's shoes. In other words, even if it wasn't spoken, even if it really is a good end product, if something came back to you that you weren't really happy with, what would you do? You would probably feel cheated, feel slighted, feel a little bit let down. How would you communicate that to someone? Now, hopefully you do it in a kind and honest and transparent way, but not everybody does that. So try to stay humble and put yourself in this position of, okay, I realize there's a problem. I'm not going to be hurt by that, even though that's hard not to be hurt by that. And I'm going to try to see things from your perspective. And the way that you show your customer or your buyer that you're doing that is by asking questions, is by apologizing. Sometimes even when you didn't do anything wrong. That's a hard one. Ask questions, apologize, be humble. Let them know that you're going to be here with them to fix this. That's the only way you get through. That is the starting point. When someone comes back and they're unsatisfied with the work you've delivered, then I think you have to maintain an attitude of humility in order to get to whatever the next step is. And that leads me to point number 2, is that I don't want you to give up too quickly. So don't take it personally and don't give up too quickly. Now, the reason I know this happens is because I've ordered many things on Fiverr. Remember, I'm a business owner. I'm a VID. That's what Fiverr has called. I think now they're calling them Fiverr Select buyers or something like that. I don't know. They change the name all the time. I'm a person who buys a lot on Fiverr. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm one of those people, and I've purchased things from people, then received the finished work, and it was poor quality and poor experience, meaning they didn't listen to the instructions I gave them. They did it incorrectly or did it poorly. And instead of trying to fix things, their reaction was, sorry, let's cancel. There is nothing more frustrating than having a capable contractor not take your notes and then be unwilling to fix the things that they did wrong by not taking your notes in the revision phase. The only way you're going to build a sustainable business on Fiverr and really anywhere else is to be willing to work with people when unmet expectations happen, when you deliver poor quality because you didn't listen to the instructions or requests they gave you at the beginning of the process. So don't give up too quickly. There's no way that you can survive canceling every single gig that someone comes back with an edit on or someone comes back unsatisfied on. It is so frustrating to be in the buyer's seat when somebody does that, because then I have to start this whole process over. And I know as a creative contractor, business owner, you can do it. Otherwise, I would not have hired you. So it's extremely disheartening when that happens. Don't be quick to rush for that cancellation. Try to fix it. Be ready to work. Show them that you're ready to work, that you're humble, you're not going to give up on this. You're going to make sure that you see their experience through to the end. And actually, I've had some of my best clients tell me that I've returned to you over and over because on our first project, there was a little bit of a struggle. It wasn't perfect the first time, but you worked hard and you worked in a timely manner to fix this. And now I'm going to continue to come back because I know I can trust you to make it right. You are someone who makes it right. That's the reputation you want. So don't give up too quickly. How about a lightning round question? Really quick answer from Joshua Abbas' question. He says, can I ask a satisfied client to do a short video review or endorsement for me? I'm building my business outside of Fiverr, and I'd like some of my clients from Fiverr to help me out with testimonials as a part of building my business elsewhere. Josh, I think this is a great idea as long as you don't mention what you're doing outside of Fiverr. Wait till the project is done. Wait till they leave their review. Then in the inbox, you can say, hey, I would love to get a quick video if you're open to it. A video testimonial of the same thing that you wrote down. Could you record a quick video so I could share that with other clients? You don't need to tell them that it's off of Fiverr. You don't need to raise any red flags. You just need to say, hey, would you mind shooting a quick video for me? Then you could use it anywhere and it might be really useful. That's a pretty good idea. Now, the third point, to the contrary of point number 2, not to give up too quickly, is know when to quit. Know when to offer a cancellation. Know when to offer a refund. I believe that time is not when someone comes back with constructive feedback for you, not the first moment at which they express a little bit of dissatisfaction. You need to know when to quit and when to give somebody a refund or a cancellation because it could lead to a negative review for you. But I believe that's something that comes from a conversation. When you begin to work with someone, when you're humble, when you're trying to work with them to make it right, maybe you've done a round of revisions to try to make it right already, and they're still nasty, they're still short, they're still unclear, they're still harsh, then it's time to pull the plug. I'll admit, when I see these, we'll call them project divas, come out, I have no desire to work with them. And honestly, I've learned to weed them out in the inbox before they become customers. You know, when people are demanding and they're sending like 7 messages in a row before you get to answer, and they're the people that write things like, "You there, bro?" Yeah, I'm here. I'm working. I don't stare at my computer waiting for your message all day. I didn't answer in 60 seconds. Sorry, that's not how it works. You need to figure out what kind of person is on the other line. And if this person is just going to be obstinate, if they're just going to be difficult, A, don't make them your customer in the first place if you have the opportunity, or B, then you have to know that you're banging your head up against a brick wall. So don't give up too quickly. Be willing to work it through. But when you see that the other person's not reciprocating that humble, professional attitude, when they're belligerent, if they're nasty, if they're just rude or mean, I don't have a lot of patience for that. And I think you should cut those people loose because thank your lucky stars that you don't have to deal with those people all the way to the end of a project. You might never satisfy them. In fact, in the top-rated seller circles that I run in, most of the time, these groups share messages with usernames of buyers that are difficult. Hey, watch out for this guy. Watch out for this gal. Don't work with them if they come your way because difficult people go from top seller to top seller to top seller, and they ruin a bunch of people's afternoons. So know when to quit. Know when to offer a refund before it causes a big problem with a bad rating, but don't give up too early. That's points 2 and 3. And finally, point number 4, you need to learn from the experience when it's over. You need to look at every single experience as an education to make you better on the other end. So if you have a bad experience with a buyer, someone comes and just isn't satisfied with the quality of work you've done, look at it objectively. Say, was this because they had a poor experience with my communication or the process? Was this because I turned in poor quality of work? I didn't listen to their instructions. I didn't do it well. I rushed through it. It's sloppy. Or was it because there were unmet expectations because I didn't ask the right questions or they didn't communicate the right things to me? Ask yourself, how could I draw that out of a buyer next time? How could I up my quality of work even when I'm tired, even when I'm sick? Should I have asked for an extension rather than pushing through and getting this done? That's a big one. You have to learn about habits and rhythms within your working life as a Fiverr seller that will help you to succeed. And sometimes asking for help, like more time to complete something, is the right answer rather than pushing out poor work because it was due today. That Fiverr clock is ominous. It can really make us feel tense at times. It can produce poor results if we're not careful. So you need to learn from each and every experience, even the ones that are not great. On the same side, look at the ones that are great. Look at when somebody comes back super satisfied, leaves you a 5-star review, does all these things, say, what do we do right here that we could replicate in the future? But for the bad experiences, for the unsatisfied buyers, ask yourself, whose fault was this really? If it was mine, I need to own up to that and figure out what I need to change about my process, my communication style, my communication pipeline, my funnel, the quality that I'm putting out. Do I need to learn more? Do I need to spend more time? Do I need an editor, someone looking at these things behind me? That's one thing that transformed my business. When I started building a team, it was more sets of eyes on quality control and products going out the door. When it was just me, I would stare at a video all day and never see the typo on the second scene. Why? Because I've been staring at it all day. But the second person in line picks up on that typo instantly. And now we have 2, 3, sometimes even 4 sets of eyes on something before it goes out the door. It really helps with our quality. Maybe you need to realize that you're missing things because no one's checking your work. Build in some kind of check for that. Look for an automated way. Maybe you're a copywriter. You need to use a plugin like Grammarly to check your grammar, your punctuation. Make sure you're not making silly mistakes because you're tired. Whatever it is, learn from the experience of someone being dissatisfied and unhappy about what you've delivered to them, and don't let it happen again. You know what they say? You make one mistake, then that's just a mistake. You make a mistake twice, then it's a decision. So if you make the same mistake twice, you've made a decision not to fix it. And that is your fault. That's tweetable, baby. I didn't come up with that. Somebody else did, and I remembered it. But it's true. So definitely, these 4 things, keep them in mind. First, don't take it personally. Be humble and put yourself in the buyer's shoes. Second, don't give up too quickly. Be ready to work and make things right. But 3, know when to quit, know when to walk away, know when a buyer is not going to change their mind and not going to straighten up. And 4, learn from the experience, make yourself better, improve your process, communication, or product. That's it. The 4 things you need to do when buyers are unsatisfied. Hey, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoy making these videos for you. I've gotten a lot of really great questions over the last couple weeks. Leave them for me in the comments down below. I need your interaction to keep this channel interesting. I want to know what you want to know, so leave them for me down below. And until next time, keep doing, because the future favors the doers.